Hello, friends, and welcome back to Error Code Blueberry. This right here is episode 9. We're an unassuming Destiny podcast. My name is Chilibin.
A Mackie.
Yep, cool. Intro's getting closer to perfect. Have to remember not to swear in the first 30 seconds. Must make the algorithm our friend. Um, anyway, episode 9 of this week 7 of Season of the Lost. Um, kind of a big build up to a big pause, it feels like.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I was expecting a bigger cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, alluding to, and I kinda hated the wording on this, alluding to the build up to Savathun's exorcism.
Yes. They're exercising the worm. The worm.
Here is my sister worm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were kind of like, yeah, just give the ley lines a little bit to like do what they need to do. Hey.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
fine.
Google needs time for the Street View cars to drive around and fill in the map a bit more.
They're just very slowly swinging into.
Yeah. I mean, it took us this long to like go and find all the Techians, so they got to do their work, right?
They've
Um,
been in there a while. They're a little bit sleepy. Give
yeah,
them some time to warm up.
they've been cooking, and now they're coming out with a fresh new mixtape. Um, if I'd thought about this ahead of time, I could have come up with a rap group name for what is it, Seven Techians. That's actually pretty good, just Seven Techians. Tech witches.
Seven Techians, but it's Gregorian chant version of Tachyon by Death Grips.
That is
An all-female Gregorian
that
chant
is
group.
breaking my brain just trying to imagine that. So let's swiftly move on. So I think a couple of weeks ago we had the end of the Aga's Scepter quest line. Now this is the ending of the other seasonal quest line. I think to your point, it wasn't a huge cliffhanger, but then we also have to get through to February before the next season and the next expansion. But the season doesn't end until February, so there's a fair bit of time to
Yeah.
fill. Um, I I wonder if we're going to get some extra cliffhanger story type stuff closer to the end of the season, similar to how we did before Beyond Light with the Traveler rebuilding. So yeah, there's plenty of room to fit stuff in, but that's all yet to come, and we're not usually here to speculate too much. So let's talk about this week's stuff. Some bits and pieces there, some interesting
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
Yeah. It was very kind of subtle stuff.
hmm,
But at the same time, after I played it through and then I had a chat with another fire team member about everything that happened, we both kind of had like, okay.
hmm.
Because he is a few of our fire team members or our clan members are very law minded,
They're
law
lore
heavy.
nerds. Lore nerds.
Yeah. So like chatting once they were done with the story, chatting with them about it, they clarified a lot of stuff and also we had a lot of oh my god, wait moments talking about it. So
Yeah. Okay. So I did all of it like just solo, and then the last 2 nights I've been watching Squid Game and trying to like catch up on that. So I haven't actually had a chance to like sit down and talk through the story stuff with anyone yet. So what is the deal? What is going on?
um I think I think it's just a few of the new lines have definitely put stuff that we thought we were figuring the answers out for
Hmm.
back into question.
Okay.
So it's like one of them I was chatting with someone about, I was like, okay, so the Aldrin crow, you did what you had to do. But then Petra comes in later and talks about how she misses Crow, but then
Well,
she keeps
Mrs.
talking
Aldrin.
Aldrin, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. And but then she feels guilty about the gunshot. So I'm like,
Yeah.
did we shoot him?
Well,
Or did,
I'm pretty
or
sure
is it
that
more that he was pissed off that we stood there and let
yeah,
Petra?
I'm pretty sure the language Petra used was I can still hear the gunshot,
Yeah,
which to me, I don't know, it sounds more like we were the ones to do it as the player character, and she was just there when it happened.
yeah,
Because I feel like, given the context of that line and the conversation leading up to it, if she'd been the one to do it, the language would have been different. She would have said something about, I can still remember pulling that trigger, or I can still
yeah. But
feel the shock.
Bungie's also very good at
They
leaving
are,
language vague so
yes.
that they can do big moments like that later down the track. They're very
Yeah.
good at not just outright being like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
They're
I
very
also
good at,
like can't remember, and haven't gone back to rewatch that cutscene where that occurs. So I don't know how much emotional weight to attach to the difference between whether Petra did it or we did it.
I feel like for me, just from, and this is obviously it's going to be different for everyone.
Hmm.
But someone who geeks out over the Awoken lore
Hmm.
and Taken lore and Dreaming City lore, I think if Petra pulls the trigger, that is a massive betrayal on her part
Yeah,
because
true.
she's so dedicated to Mara
Yes.
and she's like Mara's right hand woman. Like there's even implicated interest between the two of them in a few of the lore books and even a few of the cutscenes from Wolves. Um,
Hmm.
so that for her to kill Aldrin would be a huge kind of
Yeah, true.
betrayal. That's the emotional weight in that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Guardian killing him would be revenge for Cade,
Yes.
but I feel like if Petra pulled the trigger and Mara found out, with the way Mara's been talking for the last few weeks, I feel like that would lend to a hugely dramatic kind of
Hmm.
heavily weighted like story twist, or
Yeah.
not even twist, just a beat. Petra and Mara falling out because Petra killed Mara's brother. Like
Yes.
that would be a huge
Yeah. Yeah.
betrayal on Petra's part.
Hmm.
And then to act like all this time to Mara's face that she's not really, oh yeah, Aldrin's gone. Weird
Yeah.
that.
Too bad. Anyway, next.
Yeah, like she's avoided the topic
Hmm.
for the most part,
Yeah.
especially when Mara's around, I've noticed.
Right. Hmm.
So it could lend to a huge story arc moment for Petra and Mara, but not only that, Mara's caught because if she cuts Petra out,
It's what, just Mara and her 7 witches that she's reassembled.
and then she's there kind of by herself with Sabathoon as well.
Yeah.
And who's to say she's not above Sabathoon's influence?
Well, that's it. Like, that was kind of what this week's story stuff led up to, right? Was Mara saying, I'm basically just going to cut everyone off from Sabathun. I'm basically going to lock her away in this room while these ley lines figure their whatever out, and then we can yank this worm out. So, like, honestly, like, it could mean that Sabathun gets her influence into whoever's allowed into that room. We were allowed one final audience with Sabathun, but
And she used and we had a chat about this too,
mm,
the O blank mine, and that being a
yeah.
constant beat with multiple different characters through Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And now Sabathoon is saying, "Oh, guardian of mine, oh, guardian mine."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, these people who have been calling us or calling things, oh, blank mine, is that a Sabathoon thing?
Yeah. Is it like some
Like calling
phrase?
card
Yeah, like
almost,
some incantation or phrase that carries magical power with it.
like pulls them into
Yeah.
her influence,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. It's you played BioShock? Yeah, it's like
It's the would you
the
kindly?
would you kindly, yeah. And it's a subtle thing that, like, again, if they're using it that way, it could just be like it slowly, breaks down that border, and then all of a sudden you're under the influence, right?
Mm.
It keeps popping up here and there, but it's usually in like random cutscenes or lore books or something like that. This one's a pretty overt one of like, you're
The
actually
last thing
talking to
she
Savathun
says
and she
to
says it.
us, the last thing she says to us is, "Oh, guardian
Yeah.
mine."
Mm. So yeah, she also kind of talks about like needing to keep Zivu Arath from what is it like ruining or interrupting the ritual. That is this is Savathun's ritual, right?
Sounds like it. Sounds like
Yeah,
it's the exorcism.
right. Well, it's either that or it's like the whatever she's doing to try and get out of this crystal prison. Um, and it's kind of weird, right? Having seen what we've seen about Witch Queen, seen the trailers and all that, we're now trying to fill in gaps, I feel like, of like, oh, but it has to lead to this. But we also don't know the full picture of what this is at the end.
Yeah.
We've
I
seen
like
video we've seen video of the throne world, we've seen Savathun's form, ostensibly. We know that Savathun is apparently in this crystal and was in some form within Osiris.
yeah.
I can't connect these dots yet. I don't feel like I know enough, right?
Well, it's I think we said a few weeks ago it was like the Witch Queen, and now going through the story is the so you're probably wondering how
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like it's that it's we've seen this and now we're being taken back to run
Yeah.
through.
But I assume by the end of this 53-step quest that we would know a fair bit more. But now we're kind of just like, I don't know, sit here, Halloween's coming up, let's go do some weird stuff. You know, like I'm excited, but I'm also just like, well fuck. I still have so many questions.
Yeah, and I've been replaying a lot of stuff over in my head and then also just finding cutscenes and just watching them on YouTube to make sure I haven't missed anything.
Mm.
But then also you've got resources like Bife
Mm-hmm.
and Evan and those creators who go
Yes.
back over that stuff and kind of Bife with his lore knowledge and even Evan's got pretty big lore knowledge too.
Yeah.
And just watching both of their videos because they're not entirely on the same page when it comes to
No.
interpreting the stuff, which is really interesting because like most things, I feel like you should get opinions and interpretations from every aspect to kind of help
Yeah.
build your own and even just understand your own. But yeah, it's super interesting. For me, I think I'm just looking at the show notes here.
Mm.
Savathun talking about how she's the catalyst to bring humans and the reef together.
Yeah. And
Um,
what is she referring to by the reef there? Is she just talking about the Awoken?
yeah, and I've noticed that she never really directly refers to the Awoken.
Right.
Really, she kind of uses terms like Dreaming City, Reef, the Queen, like
Because it's odd to me to phrase it as like humans and the reef.
instead of the tower and the reef, because
Yeah.
usually you
Or
would
humans and
associate
the
the
Awoken.
tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, just weird wording. And then she's just like dead set on keeping Zivu Arath away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's her sister.
one
Yeah.
of
I
them,
think she
yeah.
uses the word sister, and that helped me like start to figure out that family tree again because I keep messing
It's
it
like
up.
Crota, Oryx, Zivu Arath,
Yeah, all of that.
Savathun, and her wormy
Yes,
little twin.
but the worm is not a unique thing to Savathun.
No,
It's all hive have their worm. That's where they get their strength. It's kind of what some of the
it's very
Shattered Realm stuff
interesting.
was implying.
She's been referring to her worm as her sister, though, which is interesting to
Yeah, I
me.
mean that's just gross though. Like that's just the hive being gross.
It's like calling like a tapeworm a sibling.
Oh,
Like, oh, this is my sibling. Like,
I mean, they're big enough, and sometimes they're inside you long enough. This is no.
but yeah, it's kind of making me worry just to get off the worms because I hate them.
Yeah.
It's kind of making me start to think maybe Savathun being the queen of deceit. It's like, what if what we're hearing about Zivu Arath isn't exactly the story? You know what I mean? Like, Zivu Arath is trying to stop Savathun.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister is trying to work actively against her being released. And it's like, why? Is it a
Yeah.
power jostle or is there something else going on there?
Yeah, because I don't remember any of this really coming up in Season of the Hunt. It was more about we're just stopping Zevil-Arath,
Yeah.
who we're told is like some big bad hive. It's kind of about it. And
But
it's
all
only
the
now
key
that we're starting to fill
players
that in.
all the key players in Season of the Hunt were under Savathun's control too.
True. Yeah.
Or influence, I should say.
Hmm.
Osiris. Osiris was definitely,
He was
but
fucked.
you know,
He was in a sav hole.
you know, and yeah, it's all just very interesting.
Yeah.
Along with the I forgot who said it. I think it was Akora. Saint is already on his way to meet Osiris for his return.
Yeah.
And to me, it feels like Saint is assuming Osiris is coming back once the exorcism is performed.
Yeah. I mean, he has to, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to make me very sad, though, if he doesn't.
I know. Shit, I meant to put this in the channel and totally forgot, but apparently, you know the sidearm spoiler alert that says someone is going to die? Apparently that's not a new thing. Apparently that gun has appeared before.
Yeah. Twitter, the deeper parts of Destiny Twitter are like, someone is going to die.
Yeah, because
someone is going to die.
I think it appeared in Destiny 2 right before Forsaken, or like near that, or it might have been a D1 thing, but it was before a major character death. And so now I'm just looking around going, well, fuck, which one of them is it going to be?
Oh, if it's Saint, I'm saying this now on the pod. If it's Saint, I riot.
Yeah, I think I might join you.
You're
just because I'll
going
be
to hear me fucking scream in the voice chat if it's.
But like the amount of work they've put in to like essentially rebuild his character.
Yeah, but they did that with Cade.
Not
Cade
really.
Was,
I never
he was a
was
bit of a.
I was kind of
He was
never
a
a
bit
fan
of
of Cade, actually.
He was the anti-hero. You know what I mean? Like he was a bit
Yeah.
of a dickhead.
Yeah.
And he grated a lot of D2 fans' nerves. But then they made him lovable, and then whoopsies.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I get why people are, were sad that he was gone, but I was never that much of a fan, Catch me out here with a lukewarm Destiny take, but he was kind of annoying. I was never a fan.
So it's I don't know, at the moment, and I know we don't do predictions, but my money is on Osiris doesn't come back, in which case.
Yeah. That seems like the easy bet to me. The hard bet is Saint.
Saint.
Yeah.
Saint does something to try and get Osiris back, and it doesn't end well, potentially.
Yeah. But then who's going to run Trials of Osiris?
Goes back to being Trials of the Nine.
No, I think Osiris is the one who dies, and Saint somehow turns Trials of Osiris into a memorial thing.
No, I'd be too sad to play it.
Yeah. Okay, so put those two aside. Who gets it? Hawthorne, finally. So they won't update her voice lines, and they're like, all right, get out of here, go back to the farm.
They give Ikora something to do.
Die?
Trials, for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be really funny because she's kind of the expert when it comes to cultural stuff, and she's very prim and proper out of all the Vanguard. So imagine her running Trials. She'd just go on about the culture. The culture.
It's the
ritual combat.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff it feels like is kind of sitting on the edge of the cliff. I mean, it's the definition of a cliffhanger, but like, it's not really. It's like, it's all kind of lining up.
Yeah, it's not a massive cliffhanger. It's obviously a very subtle one.
Yeah.
But
it's like they're just slowly pushing everything up to the cliff, and they're like, all right, which one do you want us to push first?
Bungie are very good at running, doing cliffhangers. So like, I always gear up for a potential cliffhanger by them because they're always so good.
Yeah.
They know how to end a season, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, like the things that I usually look to try and get an idea of where things are headed are sometimes triumphs, right? And there's still a couple that are secret for this season. Like one of them is in the seal. There's a couple more sort of hidden away in the actual like Triumph menu. So there's still a fair bit, I think, that is yet to be uncovered. One of those I think might just honestly be the there's a catalyst for Aga's Scepter, right?
I can't remember.
If it is, I don't think I've got it. Or actually no, I did drop it. What am I talking about? No, it's the Lawrence driver one. I don't know. Anyway, if that's in there, that's probably one of them. But yeah, it seems like there's still some stuff to be revealed. Of course there is with what is it? It's just gone October. We've got 4 months basically until Witch Queen.
I feel like they're going to escalate. They will escalate things pretty dramatically between Festival of the Lost and 30th anniversary. That's what I feel like they're going to do. Something big to keep our attention is going to happen in between those two events.
There's some good little gaps there to
probably a little bit more momentum building in between the 30th and the Festival of the Dawning.
Yeah.
I feel like they're probably going to do build momentum again there, because then after Festival of the Dawning, we've got 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So Festival of the Lost starts next week, and then that usually runs for I think 2 or 3 weeks. So that puts us at like kind of November, and then that gives us sort of a month until December when the 30th anniversary thing hits. That'll probably run for a couple of weeks, because then we're straight into the Dawning, which is sort of Christmas, New Year time, ending early January, and then you've got a month
till mid-February.
So probably 6 weeks there at the end. I think they're aware of the problems of season of arrivals in terms of not having enough to fill all that time. So I think there will be stuff to do, but at the moment it's like I can't get a sense of what is coming. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. It's just usually you can tell a little bit.
I'm wondering if the cliffhanger at the end of the season before the expansion. So last big one they did was the Traveller putting itself together. And that was a gradual build over, 4 hours? We sat there and watched it slowly put itself together.
Yeah.
Which was really great. They did it so subtly that it was like, wait, is that moving? And we were having arguments in the tower over whether it was moving or not.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I was like, hey, was that green stuff always there? And someone in our group chat was like, yeah. I'm like, no, it fucking hasn't been. Like, looking back at screenshots I'd been taking the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking gaslight me over my space wife putting herself back together. Excuse me. I would know her the best out of any of you.
Let Mackie's space wife have her glow up, please.
I'm the warlock out of everyone here. Like, I know the most about the Traveller. I'm essentially married to her according to warlock law. So
let me look at my wife.
Let me stare at my wife for 4 hours.
Yes.
I'm wondering if that event for this time is either going to be something to doing with the exorcism or the ley lines coming together, or Xivu Arath's arrival.
Xivu or Savathun?
Xivu.
Yeah, right.
Because it's a race. It's a race to beat Xivu Arath. So I'm wondering if they're going to do something with dreadnoughts arriving.
Yeah.
Not dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts. The big triangles.
The spicy black Doritos.
Yeah.
Yes. Space Doritos.
Ghost pepper Doritos.
I don't know. Good. I feel like at some point Savathun's got to emerge from her cocoon.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to be a mid-season or season end thing. Because, knowing how Bungie likes to open an expansion, not just a new season, but an expansion, it's usually with some big kind of set piece, cutscene, revelation, whatever it is. Like Beyond Light was kind of like, let's fucking go to Europa, fam. Let's go get freezy with it. Let's throw ice around. Well, it's not ice, it's stasis it's the darkness, it's all of that, right? Like it
We're here to
was.
remind you that Elsie ain't built like other exos.
That's right. She got the big
Damn.
dumpy. Uh,
Why'd they build her like that though?
damn. Elsie's grandpa horny. I don't like this at all.
You took it
So
there
yeah, I know.
for once.
But yeah, so Witch Queen probably opens with some big moment, which means that this season kind of has to end with a ramp up to that. You know, Sabathun coming out of the cocoon, I could see that being it. Or the death of a major character, I could see that being it. You know, like, I don't know which way it's going to go.
Or are they going to open next expansion with the death of a character?
Oof. Yeah. Yeah, look, add it to the pile of things that could happen. Because I just don't know. Time. I need time to pass faster, but I also don't want it to.
Yeah, but then you'd miss your dino armor.
Yes. Good segue. Festival of the Lost is dropping next week. The runaway favorite from the community poll of the choice between dinosaurs and monster for the what was it, the armor ornament set for the event. I'm very excited to make myself into all sorts of dinosaurs. I now kind of want to go back and look at the images they showed for it to because I'm pretty sure the Titan just gets a T-Rex head as a helmet.
Yeah, should have brought that up, but let's have
Yeah,
a look.
I'll look at it later, but I'm very excited for that. I'm also excited that they're kind of. It seems like they're doing something different with the event. The last couple of years, at least, it's been the Haunted Forest when you're just doing infinite forest runs and they get harder and harder and all that. But this year they're going Haunted Lost Sectors, which I don't think we've had before.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I honestly, for a little bit, when we first saw the Shattered Realms, I was like, oh, surely they're going to do something with the Shattered Realms. But Haunted Lost Sector sounds fun. It sounds
Yeah.
like a haunted house.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of curious what they're going to do if it's kind of building on the same systems they're using for like Legend and Master Lost Sectors. If it's like here's like a set kind of challenge, go do it, or if it is like what they were doing with the Haunted Forest, where it's kind of the same map and it gets progressively harder, and you have to just do wave after wave after wave. But that's not how Lost Sectors are built. They're kind of all over the place.
So, from what I can see, it looks like hunters are velociraptors.
Good.
They've even got like the little claws
Yeah.
on their boots.
Yeah.
Warlocks get ripped off again. I'm just gonna put it out there. We get shit on a lot when it comes to seasonal stuff. Triceratops. Wow, so scary.
Uh-oh.
Because the Titans get T-Rex. What the fuck?
I mean, that makes sense.
What the fuck?
If
Why
it
do we
wasn't,
get stinky Triceratops? Boring.
because there were no magic dinosaurs.
Give us the thing that spits in Jurassic Park.
Oh, right, with the frill on the neck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine a
That
warlock
would
with
actually be sick.
like the coat.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
the
the jacket with the collar like up to here. Yeah.
It almost looks like a Tudorian ruff, but it's a dinosaur. Bungie money now, please.
You and everyone else on Twitter.
I did your job for you.
Yeah,
No.
but
The Triceratops is fun. I like the coat.
Yeah.
But I feel like we got kind of goofed on again.
Yeah, and I mean, they did say, the other option they put up in that poll was the what monster, was it monsters or sea monsters? It was just monsters.
It's like classic Hollywood monsters almost.
Yeah.
Like there was the link that I brought up also had those.
Yeah, because they did say
probably.
they would be doing those. It would just be in a later event.
It looks like, I can kind of see why Titan mains voted for the dinosaur set.
Yeah.
Because y'all are just candle. It looks like a candle. I don't know what it's meant to be. Like a minotaur, maybe?
I don't know.
But
I'm not looking at it right now.
Warlock's got the thing. like the Swamp Thing,
Right.
and it looks like Hunter's got Godzilla.
Ah. Okay. Okay. But
So
yeah, we'll get dinosaurs this year, and then I don't know when the monsters will drop. But yeah, so that's next week. That's kicking off. And that'll be a bit of fun. Um,
yeah, I'm excited to jump in the server with everyone and
become monsters. No, dinosaurs together. Sorry.
do some Lost Sectors together. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because they've usually just been 3-player activities, right? I think so.
Yes, 3 or 4 from memory.
I think 3. Yeah, 3. Definitely 3. I'm now remembering matchmaking into those fucking things and yelling at blueberries. Oh my god, I'm
Yeah,
having flashbacks already.
there was a point where we both refused to go in unless it was with each other.
Yeah, at least one other person that you can talk to and say, this is what we need to do, let's go do it, because I still refuse to get into like in-game text or voice chat. It seems like a fucking nightmare to me. No, thank you.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
that's exciting, and I'm excited to see what they'll do for the 30th too.
Mm.
So as excited as I am to get the storyline going back up again because it's very intriguing, I'm also really excited for like the goofy community shit
yeah,
that we
like what
love.
the hunter ornament, the hunter armor set for the 30th anniversary basically looks like you're cosplaying DMG, and he has been very open about that on Twitter recently. People just like posting images about it, and he's kind of just like owning it at this point
Yeah.
because it's like purple
I
sweater,
mean,
yellow beanie. It's very good.
Homie gets yelled at all day, every day by entitled people who seem to think he's building the game single-handedly by himself.
Yeah,
So, that's a fun little,
yeah, I'm
like
into
a
it.
little tip of the
But
hat to
also,
all the hard work he does.
yeah, and then the other thing is like, as someone who has been playing Bungie games since the first Halo, and like a little bit before that, the fact that it's like the 30th anniversary of Bungie and it is being celebrated essentially inside the game that I now play more than anything else, I'm going to be all up in that fucking thing. Like, I didn't play
Yeah.
Destiny 1 a whole lot. I actually went back recently and looked in Dim. You can go and look at your D1 character if you had one. And I was looking in there, I was like, I didn't actually have that much stuff. Like, I was flicking through it, I was like, yeah, some of these guns I have now because they brought them back, and some of them I don't remember. I did remember, however, that sparrows used to have horns, and I feel ripped off, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, like I have, I think, way more nostalgia than I realized, and way more like sentimentality towards this game studio. Because before I was like, yeah, cool, 30th anniversary, let's go, let's get some loot, let's get some merch, like whatever. But now I'm like, no shit, this actually might just be really sweet, and I'm super here for it.
Yeah, I definitely had that moment during the Witch Queen showcase where they did the montage for leading into the announcement for the 30 years at Bungie
Oh, dude,
celebrations.
I wept. I'm not ashamed to admit
There was so many games that I was like, you kind of played them before you learnt what a studio was, I guess. Like as a kid, you just see a name at the beginning of a game and then you go play the game. You
It's
don't
like,
really
shit, the new
pay.
Halo game's out. Cool, I'll go get that.
Yeah, yeah. And for me, like I think we spoke about this in the first episode. For me, the big one was like the montages of people having lands and photos of old lands. That's what got me. I was like, oh, shit. But then you realize where this is the modern equivalent of a LAN.
Yeah,
What we do
get yourself a
every
Discord
night.
server, homie.
Yeah, what we do every night is the modern equivalent of a LAN party, really.
Yeah. I can't believe I've never thought about it like that, and how much of a fucking pain in the ass it used to be to organize those things. And now I just sit here in this chair. Dude, I just sit here in this chair and I click a button in Discord and I'm like, cool, there's 4 people. Let's go do some shit. Like,
all you hear is hello.
Yeah. 2 minutes of people just saying hello, like Frank Walker. But yeah, I remember it was like CRTs, consoles, network cables, 4 controllers into every console. Like you had to have 4 controllers per, so or like enough controllers for all the people. It's just like, man.
God bless the dude in everyone's group whose house just automatically, without a vote, became the LAN
Yeah,
house
for
because they had
some
the best internet, the
no,
most
no, no, no,
space.
no. It was the dude whose parents for some reason bought a house with like a 3 or 4 car garage because they
Yeah.
had dreams of owning a boat. And then they did for a bit and then they realized it's not worth it and they got rid of the boat, but they kept the giant garage.
Ours
So
was,
good.
for some reason, being in the area I grew up in, it was always the slightly richer kid.
Mm.
And we used to go to the house that for some reason they had 2 lounge rooms.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they
no,
had like a lounge room and then another lounge room. So the parents could still do what they wanted and then we'd all be in the second lounge room. And then sometimes we'd spill into the spare bedroom.
yeah, we had a house like that when I was growing up. So it was like a split level thing. So like the main living room was upstairs. We had a room downstairs where like there was a pool table that my dad had got on the cheap from a pub across the road, but like proper slate top thing. So it was heavy as shit. But then we were able to just be down there, kind of being noisy and whatever. And kind of, parents could just be upstairs being like, fuck, I wish they'd shut up anyway. I'm just going to keep watching TV. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a house like that too, where it was the designated party house and also LAN house,
Yeah.
where they had the pool room.
Yeah. Oh, man. Part of me wants to, like, do some of that shit again.
Homie, when we're out of lockdown and I move down, let's have a LAN.
Yeah.
Let's all bring our PCs over someone's house and just have an old school LAN, but with
Yeah, yeah.
Destiny.
Or it's just like playing something with like 4 of us here on the PlayStation, like some version of that. Because like I wouldn't want to fucking disconnect my PC and lug it around
Get
somewhere.
together, we'll do custom mayhem matches.
That yeah. Oh yes.
Beers.
Yes. Yes. Some or all of that. Yes. Goddamn. I got my second vaccine dose this week, so I'm, ticking all the boxes I need to be able to do things and see people. I'm still a bit hesitant about it, but
Yeah, I'm
slowly getting out there.
4 weeks post second vaccine. And even then I'm still playing it very
yeah.
safe. I'm still only leaving for essentials. And my state, without doxing myself, I mean, there's 3 states that technically aren't in lockdown anymore, but my state's not in lockdown anymore. And even then, I mask on, only go out for essentials. And if I need to go to something like a shopping mall or a shopping center, I try and go outside of peak hours. So early in the morning, late in the afternoon, try and avoid midday
Anyway,
and those.
Let's leave that out of here. No paninis on this pod. So we've got
Grand Panini.
Festival of the Lost next week. This week we've got an old friend in Mayhem. We've also got Trials coming back, but in a more sort of settled way. They were sort of talking on Twitter this week saying like, yeah, look, the first 3 weeks, yes, it was the reintroduction of Trials with some new changes, but also there was a fair amount of change happening in the couple of weeks after that. So they're just going to go back to Trials, just like regular Trials for a while, just to like let the dust settle, see how the numbers really fall. But they are keeping all of the changes that they brought in this season. So flawless pull from Sunday morning, all of the stuff around, match changes and all that. So it'll be good just to like get a bit more of a regular rhythm to it, as opposed to the first 3 weeks we had with it. It was like, cool, what has changed this week, and having to like figure it all out again.
Yeah, and we'll find out a little bit more, obviously, in a little bit more detail when the TWAB comes out in a few hours.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're going to talk about Trials, because they kind of did a fair bit on it last week from memory. It might just be them reiterating that fact of like, it's just going to be Trials, just regular Trials for a bit now.
DMG also said this week that this TWAB is going to be short and sweet, because the last few have been very long. And he said we've really not got much to announce, so it'll be a short one.
Yeah, I would kind of expect some stuff about Festival of the Lost, just because that's next week, as far as I know. Pretty sure it's next week. So yeah.
Probably calling back to the roadmap a little bit more because it seems that a
Yeah.
lot of people have forgotten that the roadmap is there on their website
Well, yeah,
for you to look
but
at.
it's also, to be fair, less detailed than previous season calendars have been. Like previous ones, it's been like, here's what's happening on specific dates. This one is just like, okay, for October to November, Festival of the Lost. That's about as much as they give you.
Mhm.
Whereas before, it's been like, okay, on this weekend, Iron Banner. Whereas we don't have that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's fine. But there is still that missing piece of information compared to what we've had in the background, in the past, not the background. But it is there. It is there. You're
Yeah.
right.
I mean, there's so much stuff that is in flux at the moment.
Yeah, God. They're gearing up for a new expansion. Like
Yeah.
and they've also got the 30th anniversary, which, knowing them, they're going to put a lot of effort into.
Yeah. And then a lot of their workforce is still work from home.
Yeah.
Things can happen, you know, so stuff can change, stuff can get slightly delayed. You probably don't want to set it in stone because then you get people who get upset when it doesn't play out the way they want it to.
Yeah. For Festival of the Lost, in the past we've had masks. I'm pretty sure masks carry over year to year, right? Like you get the like actual mask that you wear as a headpiece, but you can
I think
you can
you can pull
apply
them.
you can apply ornaments that you've acquired from multiple years. It's not just this year's ornaments, right? So
I
someone like
think so,
me,
because
who's done Festival of the Lost for a few years, I've got a fair few built up. So the thing I'm wondering is, which ones do they add that haven't been there before?
yeah,
Can I
that's
get... So we've had the screaming Aldrin face. Can I get a crow and a sad emo boy look with the
emo
fringe
crow.
cut? Yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
I think. Trying to think
Who
what
else?
else.
I feel like part of me is saying, well, we've had, what was it, Oryx and Crota so far as
I think
well.
so. Yeah.
One of the two, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I think it was Oryx. I'm wondering if we're going to get Savathun, but at the same time, canonically, in game, we don't know what Savathun looks like. The only
Not
reason
yet.
we know what Savathun looks like is because we've seen the Witch Queen stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in game, we don't know
They
what
don't know
Savathun
yet.
technically looks like.
Mm.
So, would we get a Savathun?
I don't think so,
Mask?
unless it's just the crystal.
Oh, I would love that, actually.
Just a giant rock.
Big stasis head.
Oh, yes.
The only other obvious
Keitel?
ones to me are like
Keitel's a new character.
Keitel, Mara. I don't know if they've had Mara in
I feel
years
like they
past. I
have.
can't remember.
There's been a Petra.
We had Petra last year.
Yeah.
We've had Drifter.
Mm.
We had the Traveler. My favorite.
I
Big
like
moon head.
the glitter ball one, which is just like this giant fucking ghost shell. It's like the please shoot me in the head piece. Yeah, I don't know what else.
Yeah.
Actually, I know what I want.
They always put
a micro, you know, the Sparrow, the micro mini. I want that just
your head.
plonk it on my head.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
But they always throw in a few what the fuck ones.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm excited to see what the hell helmets are gonna be. There's always those helmets
ramen bowl.
Yeah. There's always those helmets that you end up cackling the first time you put them on. So I'm excited to see what they are.
It's also some of the funniest shit, like in the middle of a raid or something, to equip one of those and then just start running around. Just like it takes like a full 100 off your power level or something because it's 0 power.
We've got someone in our
good.
fire team who's not adverse to just randomly putting on a screaming Aldrin head in the middle of activities.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. Just comes around the corner. It's like, what are you doing?
Or he'll put it on and not say anything, and that's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Because you can hear as we all one by one realize.
Just the
Yeah.
just the shitty laugh in the background. And then it's always, okay, what is Mickey doing? And then it's not you that time. I'm excited for shenanigans.
I'm down for some bullshit for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we've got mayhem this week for both shenanigans and stress relief, because I do enjoy it. I think when we've done raids during a mayhem week, it's always the best, because then we 6-stack mayhem and just go straight in. What is it? It's at like the sauna tradition where you come out of the sauna and then do the cold plunge pool.
Yeah.
It's like that, where you come out of the real shitty thing and then you're like, okay, let's go and do a short, sharp thing that is the complete opposite, and that'll make us feel better.
The raiders are sitting in the fucking sauna beating each other with birch tree branches for 45 minutes.
Yes. And then mayhem is us like one by one dunking ourselves in a cold tank.
Real finish for a second.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, they have that at a hot springs just out of town here.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Even more reason to move.
Yeah. But yeah, I've already gone in and done a bit of fuckery with my hunter in mayhem. So I was like, okay, my Titan's at 1330, time to start building the hunter and the warlock back up. Put on my blade barrage build and just went fucking ham for about 20 minutes. Then put on my 6-shot golden gun and was just like bang, 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 bang. Bing bong, bing bong.
Celestial.
Bang. No, I'm not that much of a fucking psycho running Celestial Nighthawk in a mayhem match. That's not me. I can't do that kind of shit. I want 6 shots because I need them. But then I'm also that guy who's like a hunter running Quick Fang, and then I'm running around just like getting sword kills, just like haha, run off.
Yeah, I'm that warlock who sits at the end of a hallway and waits for them all to trickle down.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, the Fistful Lost in
30th.
More story stuff. Yeah, 30th. Trying to think what else we had for this week.
Not a lot.
Yeah, with the story well kind of drying up. Not a whole lot. There was another entry in the Ripples law book that you get from talking to the random radio transmission, and I now have already forgotten what it was about this week. I read it. Yeah, didn't hit me.
I read it and then went back into story stuff and immediately forgot.
Yeah, we went. Shattered Realm was back to
my favorite,
Forest of Echoes. Yeah, that one I think I'm trying to not be biased by the fact it was the first one we went into when it first came out. But I think it is a lot of fun because you kind of loop back on yourself a couple times before you warp into the boss fight. Whereas the other ones feel a bit more like you're just following a linear path through a thing.
Also, for me, just personally, with my personal aesthetic, I very much live the trash goth life.
Yeah.
Just the aesthetic of that realm.
Yeah.
Is
here's a broken church.
Yeah, Trostland Church being broken, and then spooky forests.
Yeah.
And it's super easy to navigate. It's really nice to navigate. It's not as frustrating as some of the other ones. But for me,
the second one, I'm correcting myself here. Like the second one did that kind of looping back thing, but also had a lot more hidden spots vertically. It felt like, and that I always got lost in. Forest of Echoes has a bit of that, but not to the point where it's like, fuck, I have to go up here, then jump around to this bit, and then go up under here. But yeah, I do like the broken church.
And that was such and I feel like we spoke about it a little bit, but that was such a good reveal too, to come through that. It kind of looks like the conflux structure. You go in, you see almost like a confluence.
Yeah.
I always get them mixed up. I don't know why.
Well, there are also confluxes, which are vex things.
And then you see basically the confluence, and then you leave that door, and the first thing you kind of see as you head out is the Trostland Church torn up.
Yeah.
And like that's such a good reveal. That was
Well, it's
such a
also,
good
also
way
'cause,
to
like,
introduce us
you
to
spend
these
the first
realms.
like 30 seconds trying to figure out how to jump down, and then you kind of look up and you're like, oh fuck, this feels familiar.
Crossland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah. What else we got for this week? That's pretty much it. I was just scrolling through the old show notes. That's kind of it, I think.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
Um,
And almost on schedule, the storm
the
arrives.
storm, good. Okay, we've managed to sneak it in before the threat of a thunderstorm fucking cooks your internet connection again.
And my power
yeah.
for 9 hours.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
it should be
fucking
fine.
get out of here before we tempt fate any further. I think that's probably wise.
Just loses connection with me completely.
Yeah, and then like we end this episode wearing completely different clothes because we have to record it tomorrow. Make it look like an ad read. No, we're not big enough for that yet. Anyway, this has been Error Code Blueberry episode checks notes 9. I actually, did check my notes. I'm not just doing that for comedic effect. Yeah, we'll be back next week with Festival of the Lost. I'm going to speed run getting some dinosaur armor. I swear to fuck. And hopefully we know some more about what's coming down the pipe for this season.
Time to get spooky.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I love this time of year in
Get
Destiny.
lost in these lost sectors. Here we go.
Trashy white goth.
Please tickle
October
the boxes.
is my time.
Please tickle the boxes, like, subscribe, etc. You know the deal. YouTube is old at this point. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Thank you for checking us out. Thank you for continuing to. I don't have a good verb for what we do. Like Error Code Blueberry doesn't lend itself well to a verb. Thanks for hanging with us, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for spending some time with us. We'll see you next week.
Just vibing.
Just vibing.
Vibing.
Thanks for vibing with us.
Vibing with us.
Thanks for vibing. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
We shared the brain cell again.